CTV News with Ricardo, Veneza.
After breakfast, I think we could sit down together, we could hammer out a deal, and we would still have time to get coffee and a donut at Tim Hortons before lunch.
The U.S. ambassador to Canada in Winnipeg today, speaking confidently of a real deal between the two countries as Donald Trump's August 1st tariff deadline gets ever closer. Good evening. The tariff turmoil continues as the president's trade war rages on. Countries are trying to chip away at new U.S. import taxes being slapped on goods from both adversary and ally. When it comes to Canada, talks have been intensifying, and there is optimism from the Canadian camp tonight in securing a favorable agreement. CTV's Abigail Beeman brings us the latest on the tension that remains.
A government source tells CTV News there's a good level of optimism about Minister Dominic LeBlanc's next D.C. trip, and discussions will still center on trying to get a deal before the Friday deadline.
I'm hopeful that a number of additional irritants, maybe on both sides, will be addressed.
While the American ambassador told a Winnipeg audience he's hopeful about a deal in the coming days, and Pete Hoekstra makes it sound easy.
We could hammer out a deal, and we would still have time to get coffee and a donut at Tim Hortons before lunch.
My life is full of questions.
Meanwhile, prices are going up from household product giant Procter & Gamble, expecting about $1 billion hit from Donald Trump's tariffs.
In the long term, this direction will weaken the free world more than it will help it, and it will, I think, ultimately weaken the United States as well. So I think it's unfortunate. But
Canada. What about Canada? I don't know what they're feeling now at this point.
In an interview, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, LeBlanc's main point of contact, said the European Union's deal was all about protecting their auto, semiconductor, and pharmaceutical markets, warning
President Trump is going to come out in the next 2 weeks with his pharmaceutical policy, and it is going to be higher. Basically, if you are not building your plant in America where we pay for pharmaceuticals, you are going to pay a massive tariff.
With that Friday deadline looming, Canadian officials and the American ambassador are messaging optimism just days after President Trump said he hasn't had much luck with Canada and there may not be a deal at all. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now to the latest on the Gordie Howe International Bridge project. And the office of Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens is backtracking on a quote given to the National Post about when the megastructure may finally open to traffic. The mayor was addressing the region's unemployment when he was quoted as saying, "We've got the Gordie Howe Bridge that is winding up construction and should open officially the first week of December this year." The mayor's acting chief of staff, Chris Menard, telling CTV News as project timelines are ever evolving for the bridge project, the mayor's comment should be considered stale dated. Officials with Windsor Detroit Bridge Authority did not respond to a request to confirm Dilkens' timeline. The bridge team officially revised the construction completion date to September of this year, but an opening date has not been officially pinpointed. Now, officials say the bridge is 98% done, and Canada Border Services is working to get systems online currently. The demand to know the opening date is strong, with officials fielding plenty of interest from those who want to be the first to cross the new span connecting Ontario and Michigan.
We're getting probably about 2 or 3 emails a day from people who have very compelling reasons why they should be the first to cross. We know that the community wants to be involved with the opening, and we are looking at what we can do to make sure that everybody takes part in this as much as they can.
Now to City Hall, where Council has approved a plan to fill in the pool at the former Water World building to help provide shelter for those in need during extreme conditions. And it could cost millions. The closed session decision is expected to cost several $1 million to fulfill the scope of the project over at the H4. The plan includes filling in the long empty pool at the former water park and add a new HVAC system as well as washrooms and additional supports to upgrade the temporary homelessness and housing help hub. The project is expected to be completed by this time next year. Now, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens says pulling the funds from the budget of the proposed permanent H4 facility is needed to ensure there's enough space to help those in need experiencing homelessness and dealing with mental health and addictions issues.
We know that we can't move into the permanent H4. It's going to be 5+ years by the time that facility is ready. And so I've been able to look people in the city in the face and say, no one ever needs to sleep on the street in the city of Windsor. Those you see sleeping in tents or on the street, those folks are making a choice, that there is always room at the shelter system. We don't want to take over from the regular shelter system. That's not our goal, but the goal is to augment with the services that are already being offered to make sure that no one ever has to sleep on the street.
And still ahead, why the role of the top City Hall watchdog could be in for a major change. Our Travis Fortnum reports on the new weight the job could carry. In Chatham-Kent, a contentious and at times emotional special meeting looked to address concerns raised around a new encampment that's popped up in Chatham along the Thames River. The 4-hour-long session ended with a deferred decision on restricting the site. But as our Robert Lothian reports, there are some interim measures council has approved.
What was once a place for us to feel our children can grow up enjoying, sharing it with friends, and most of all, feeling safe is no longer.
A first-hand account of how life has changed near Grand Avenue East since an encampment relocated to this municipal property.
How long until a child is hurt or worse? And when that day comes, who's going to be responsible?
Chatham-Kent Council hearing from 16 delegations at a special meeting Monday night. A mix of fear for their families and compassion for those living rough.
Let's consider consolidating our services, cutting costs, and reaching peak potential in servicing those in need.
The encampment moved about 2 weeks ago for safety reasons as work on the nearby riverbank was about to begin. Frustration was directed at staff for a lack of communication about the move and where the homeless were being relocated.
The decision to move the encampment to the PC property was not a staff choice or a council choice.
Mayor Darren Caniff put forward a motion requiring shelters to be 100 meters from a property line, but this was sent back to administration for review.
My reason for asking for this is just to make sure that we don't repeat what just happened. Essentially to just have some communication and some clarity from administration.
Municipal staff say only 2 Chatham locations may fit within the parameters. A report detailing the impact is expected in August.
I'm looking at the rights of the individual homeowners and the individual business by saying, no, you need to be 100 meters away.
Council is moving forward with initiatives aimed at addressing the encampment. This includes limiting encampments to 1 tent per person, hiring at least 1 bylaw officer for encampment enforcement, adding CCTV cameras where necessary, and exploring housing options. As for a new encampment site, council will wait to hear back from staff.
So I had some indication, but I'd want to wait for their report to say the amount of people impacted. But again, it's 100 meters away from everything versus 10 meters away.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
In Windsor, a multi-million-dollar road reconstruction project is moving along and on schedule. Our Bob Belichico has the latest on the Howard Division Road corridor revamp.
It'll be awesome once everything's opened up and all the construction's done.
Since March, the city has been working on a massive $18 million reconstruction of the Howard corridor that includes Division Road and Sydney Avenue. The project has had a major impact on traffic and area businesses to improve traffic flow.
All the businesses around here will definitely appreciate that, and we're just glad that the guys are hard at work and getting the work done for us.
The rail crossing at Howard is completely cut off. Northbound traffic on Howard Avenue can freely turn onto South Cameron. Despite no traffic coming from the rail side, drivers still need to stop. That sign will disappear when work begins on the median next month.
Essentially, South Cameron will just bend up to Sydney, and it'll completely, change the configuration of that intersection. It will no longer be a 3-way intersection. It'll just be a curve.
A new railway grade crossing at Sydney Avenue is being worked on.
The new grade crossing should be constructed within the next month or so, and then commissioning of the railway crossing probably in September, October.
Division Road has been widened with a long lead up to the turn onto Sydney to help account for rail backups. Although there is an anticipation of lower traffic volume on Howard, there should be enough room for traffic to back up onto Sydney when trains run through that intersection.
It'll be, I believe it's 4 lanes wide to provide that room for vehicles to queue up if there's a train.
According to the city, the project is on schedule. Now, Ward 9 City Councillor Kieran McKenzie says, along with improved traffic, one of the great outcomes from this project is the linking of multi-use trails starting along South Cameron through to Sydney Avenue.
then into the onto Marintet as well, which will further connect that whole strip east-west along in South Windsor from essentially South Cameron all the way to Lausanne Parkway.
The city says the road construction in the Howard corridor should be done sometime in November, in time for the holiday shopping season. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
And on the roads, watch out for buckling during this extreme heat in southern Ontario, which has been all too frequent this summer. The 402 near Sarnia heaved under the beating sun and high temperatures, shutting down the highway yesterday as the pavement started to lift. Now, this isn't far from where the 402 previously buckled in extreme heat back in June. At the time, the Ministry of Transportation said it would fix the road temporarily and work on a permanent fix come the fall. Now, Highway 3 has had its own buckling in our neck of the woods in previous summers due to extreme heat, and this summer season has not been short on those heat waves. CTV's John Venevalley-Rao reports on the cross-country conditions as the temperature proves taxing.
In Toronto, it was yet another sweltering day where temperatures felt like they were around 40.
It's insufferably warm. Is that the description you wanted?
While that kind of heat is welcomed by some, more are starting to say they've had enough of it.
It's kind of like walking into a bit of an oven.
By the end of this latest stretch of heat, Toronto will have had 23 days at 30 degrees or above so far this year. 9 days where the humidex was above 40.
It's been hot, humid. You kind of can't breathe when you step outside at certain points.
While temperatures on average in June and July have been about 2.5 degrees above normal.
And July's not finished yet. We still have to add a couple more days. It could be more than 2.5 degrees.
Temperatures also soared again in parts of the Maritimes, BC and the Northwest Territories, and south of the border.
Nathan Lucas leading it off again for the Blue Jays.
Where the Toronto Blue Jays were playing a doubleheader this afternoon in Baltimore, Maryland, where it was 37 Celsius without factoring in the humidity.
Whatever you got to do, don't worry about how it looks. Just try to cool off any way you can.
Overheated fans at times being misted down, trying to beat the heat. Heat that's been having an effect on health. Toronto has seen more than 50 heat-related ER visits so far this July, double that of last July and triple the year before. Though officials say it hasn't been catastrophic in terms of hospital admissions or deaths.
It appears that it's affecting people, but it's not an emergency at this point, fortunately.
And while there is some relief in sight, the long-term modeling suggests in many regions the rest of the summer will continue to be warmer than normal. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
And guess what? We've got more heat on the way here in Windsor, Essex. Gary Archbold's going to join us after the break to tell us all about it.
When kids are critical, they sometimes don't have time to make it to London or Toronto.
Still ahead, our Stephanie Mazzotti brings us the story of an Amherstburg mother and the gaps in care she's looking to have filled. CTV meteorologist Gary Archbold joining us now for a check of the forecast. Gary, we got a bit of a break from the rain today. Don't call it a comeback, though. We may still see some more this week.
We could definitely be very wet on Thursday in particular. Good evening once again, folks. We're talking about a day in which the heat warning was extended, still technically in it, but could be extended into tomorrow. We'll wait and see. The temperatures were above seasonal yet again, this time by about 3 degrees Celsius. Our average high is 28, reached close to 31. The humidity, well, it made it feel sweltering. And 40 to 42 humidex is tough for a lot of us out there. The low so far today, 20 degrees, and even that felt like about 28 early this morning before sunrise. Ridge of high pressure is keeping us quiet for now, but it will break down over the next 24 hours. In fact, by Thursday, let's push it out towards 36 hours. We're looking at significant rain coming from the next system that should scatter showers across southern Michigan and pick up a little bit more moisture and energy and roll right through the heart of southern and southwestern Ontario proper. Thursday is likely a wet day for the morning right through to the evening, in fact. But it will also usher in cooler air, and temperatures drop considerably. More on that in just a moment. Speaking of cooler air, relatively speaking, the overnight temperature projected before dawn Wednesday morning, 20 degrees Celsius. It will be mostly cloudy, feeling like about 28. It has felt warmer during the overnight periods over the last 3-4 days straight, closer to 30. It's been tough. And tomorrow is an interesting day. We need the rains. We could see it. And if we do, the rains will be intermixed showers and thunderstorm activity towards the afternoon. We'll see a high of 29. The winds will pick up tomorrow afternoon out of the northeast, sustained at around 30 km, say about 4 or 5 o'clock onward towards supper time. For most, 6, 7, gusts to 50. And then the rains come, and it will be a soaker, we believe. Thursday, down to 24, so rainy but cooler air and much more comfortable. And then sunshine and comfortable temperatures Friday and Saturday. The long weekend warms up, but it stays sunny and, for the most part, relatively seasonal. 28 around our seasonal average for a daytime high. Monday into Tuesday, still warm, still upper 20s. Humidity will still make it feel like the low to mid 30s as we look towards Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday of next week. Enjoy that long weekend that's coming. It plans to be, or it should be, a sunny occasion. Let's look at your weather.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Well, from the weather to the pool, LaSalle's Kylie Moss narrowly missing the podium today, finishing 4th in the women's 100-meter backstroke final at the World Swimming Championships. The 5-time Olympic medalist finished in 58.42 seconds, just 0.27 seconds behind American Catherine Burkhoff, who claimed bronze. Well, listen, we know Moss will get them next time. Taking a look at the markets now, Canada's main stock index finishing higher today to cap off trading, while American markets moved lower. As you can see here, the TSX climbing 134 points, the Dow down 205, while the Nasdaq slides 80. The Canadian dollar down as well today to rest at 72.62 cents U.S., below that 73-cent mark where it's been hovering for much of the last few months. Gold up more than $14 an ounce, oil surging $2.50 a barrel.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
A new report shows Windsor is trailing its municipal peers when it comes to properly establishing and safeguarding the independence of the city's Auditor General. CTV's Travis Fordham takes a look at the new legal protections that are on the table.
It's a job built on independence, keeping City Hall in check. The Auditor General oversees the financial management and operations of the city, but Windsor hasn't put any local rules in place to spell out how that role should function day to day.
There's always been an emphasis on ensuring independence. That can mean different things. So part of exploring the bylaw is, what does that more specifically mean?
A city report brought to council Monday takes a look at what other Ontario municipalities are doing and found Windsor is behind. Cities like Ottawa, Sudbury, and Thunder Bay all have bylaws outlining how their AG offices function, who they report to, how they're funded, and just how independent they really are. The Municipal Act covers the basics, but Councillor Kieran McKenzie says the need for clear rules at the local level is even more pressing now.
The area that I'm mostly concerned about, and just because the landscape's changed, I'm going to go back to the issue of the strong mayor framework.
Under Ontario's strong mayor system, Windsor's mayor has more power, including over some hiring, firing, and shaping of the budget. A bylaw could help future-proof the AG's office, no matter who's in charge, even if the role is out of the strong mayor's reach.
The Auditor General's excluded The mayor does not have the authority to terminate the Auditor General.
Council voting unanimously to move ahead, directing staff to work with the Auditor General and draft a bylaw for consideration. There's no timeline in place, but current AG Chris O'Connor says he's happy to support the effort. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Well, on to another new report, this one that says Canada is falling behind when it comes to supporting people with dementia. The Brainwell Institute says it takes an average of 2 years for patients to get a diagnosis, and services are fragmented. It also says dementia contributes to an estimated $25 billion in lost productivity due to the demands that are placed on caregivers.
Once you get that diagnosis, if you even get it, there's really nowhere else to go. There's no supports for people to understand how they can manage it better. And when you think about dementia overall, it's a collection of over 100 different neurological diseases. People can live up to 8 years with this disease. So they need access to treatments, diagnostics, and better rehabilitative care. In Canada, unfortunately, while it has invested in a national dementia strategy, when it comes to the care component and the coordination through the health system, we're really falling behind.
The Institute is calling for the creation of a Canadian dementia coordinating body to guide policy, a national implementation plan with clear targets, and a commitment to long-term funding. Now to the story of an Amherstburg mother highlighting the gaps in pediatric care in Windsor, hoping the region's new acute care hospital can help provide the answer. CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti has this report.
His bowels could have ruptured at any moment, so time was of the essence.
Sully was 2 days old when he was diagnosed with Hirschsprung's disease in Detroit.
Hirschsprung's disease means that you're born without being able to go to the bathroom properly.
Sully and his family regularly travel to London for specialized treatment.
When kids are critical, they sometimes don't have time to make it to London or Toronto.
His mother, Kate Lowe, has spent the last 4 years advocating for expanded pediatric services across Windsor, Essex. In a statement sent to CTV News, the Department Chief of Pediatrics at Windsor Regional Hospital states, as we have said on multiple occasions, Windsor Regional Hospital is always interested in expanding programs and services, but only where patient volumes would safely support those additions. We will advocate for funding to support expanded or new programs where the volumes warrant. However, there are many specialized cases where, for the safety of the patient, services are better provided where there is expertise and more common clinical practice, such as specialized pediatric care in London. Officials go on to say they have seen several upgrades to the pediatric services in recent years. In the last 3 years, they've added 8 new pediatricians and a pediatric oncologist to their team, and the hospital does provide a pediatric emergency diversion service that operates 7 days a week.
Our area is growing by leaps and bounds.
Lowe says she has high hopes for the future as planning continues on the new acute care hospital.
And this is a real opportunity to have a pediatric emergency department, to have a pediatric critical care unit with more surgeons who are here full-time, not just visiting surgeons for pediatric surgeries. It's an opportunity to have a full-time pediatric oncology unit. It's an opportunity to have a pediatric medical day unit with more specialists.
Construction on the $2 billion project is expected to begin in 2026 and be completed by 2031. Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
The Kiwanis Sunshine Point Camp in Harrow received a $198,000 Ontario Trillium Foundation grant today. I'm not sure what they said, but they sound excited. The money will help expand the staff lodge. The camp has been running for 78 years now, offering kids various educational and recreational summer activities. Most of the cost of attending camp is covered by public and private donations, and many of today's campers are expected to return as future camp counselors.
Well, we're using the entire budget of $198,000, but there were some cost overruns that I don't know. Somehow I'm going to have to dig up another 20 grand to finish it off, but I'll worry about that later because that wasn't in the budget.
Okay, Gary is back with a wrap of his 7-day forecast. And Gary, it looks like we have some active weather to get through.
Some active weather, showers, maybe some thunderstorm activity for tomorrow afternoon. It will still be a warm day. Some might even call it hot. Fume index close to 40 yet again. So you'll need the umbrella, I think, late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning in particular. And I'm betting on a rainy day throughout for Thursday. Much of the region will be wet and cooler. Look at this, down to 24. And speaking of mid-20s, nice recovery for the end of the work week for most. Friday, 25 and sunny. Sunny on Saturday, 25. The lows will be in the low double digits, 11 and 12 degrees respectively. And then warming up, seasonal, 28 and sunny on Sunday. And holiday Monday, 29 and sunny. Mostly sunny Tuesday, a week from now, and 28 degrees. That's a nice stretch of sunshine. Stretch it out. Yes, it's close to bedtime now. Have yourselves a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, Gary, we're all getting a little bit sleepy here. Well, a new event is at the Brighton Windsor's waterfront with Art Windsor Essex and the Gordie Howe Bridge Project's Community Benefits Plan pitching in to create the Nightlight Festival. It's set to run September 18th to the 20th and will transform the grounds outside of Art Windsor Essex, of course, in Windsor's downtown. It'll transform it into an interactive world of light and of art. Some of the outdoor exhibitions and off-site displays will showcase the talents of local artists starting earlier September 1st. Visitors can participate in workshops and create their own wearable technology as well. Organizers say it's a celebration like nothing Windsor's seen before.
Celebrating digital art, installation art, interactive art, public art. It's going to give us an opportunity to showcase to Windsor internationally renowned artworks while also celebrating local artists who are doing really interesting work in the medium of light and digital and interactivity.
Very cool stuff. Something to look forward to for the end of summer here in Windsor, Essex. It's coming up quick, folks. Enjoy it while it's here. That's our time tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6. Until then, I'm Ricardo, Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.